Millions of people now are saving into pensions since auto enrollment started, but they don't even understand where their money's going, what they're really investing in. There's quite a lot of companies that have maybe set up fees, annually fees to the employer, monthly admin fees, but we are just no charges at all to the employer.
How does it work alongside the current auto enrollment workplace pension rules? Cool, Maria. So I appreciate you jumping on a call with me today. I thought it'd be a great time to talk through the salary sacrifice scheme. We'll just go through a list of questions that hopefully are helpful for the 7 and 8 figure D2C brands. But if you want to kick off with a brief introduction, Maria, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, so my name's Maria. I work for Penfold Pensions. We are a workplace pension provider in the UK. I've been working myself with Penfolds for the last 2 years, but I've been working with workplace pensions since it started in 2012.
Cool. So I'll kick off with the first question. Let's start with the basics. What is a salary sacrifice scheme?
Salary sacrifice has been around for donkey's years. One of the reasons it wasn't that popular before is because before companies used to have to maybe change the contracts for employees, so that worked out expensive. Maybe HR companies would get involved and there'd be a cost there. Nowadays, you don't have to do that. It's just an amendment to the contract, and we have all the words in that we can send you over. So there's no extra cost there. On the employee side, the downside used to be before auto enrollment came into place in 2012, is that because an employee is sacrificing part of their salary, on paper, their salary does look less. So if they was going for a mortgage or a loan, and then it would look as if they're earning less money, therefore when the mortgage is calculated, it's calculated on the lower amount. But nowadays, because banks do know that employees are paying into their pension, whether it's on salary sacrifice or not, so even if they shown the gross figure, there's still a 5% there that's coming off. They will take a letter from either the employer or the provider just explaining this person is on a salary sacrifice scheme, and the mortgage will be calculated on their full wage, not what's been sacrificed. So that sort of negative side has now gone. The other negative side would be something like statutory maternity pay. Obviously, that is calculated on the last 8 weeks of the person working. So to overcome that, what we would actually say is that companies allow their employees to opt out of salary sacrifice 3 months before they're going on to leave. And so then the statutory maternity pay is calculated on their full salary back to normal. And then when they return from maternity leave, they can opt back into salary sacrifice. Because as I say, it's just wording, the just sending out amendment. So the amendment would be your salary, you're not on a salary sacrifice scheme, you're back onto this amount. And then when they come back, they just get new wording. Salary sacrifice to administrate in the company is just a tick box really in the payroll software. So it's really easy for whoever's running the payroll to switch back from one another. The only other negative is if somebody was on a life insurance, had their own life insurance, which was calculated on how much their salary is. So obviously, they just need to remember that that would then drop down because it would be that they're on 5% less because they've sacrificed part of that salary. But as I say, salary sacrifice now is so popular. Nearly every scheme that we're setting up at the moment is on salary sacrifice, whatever the size of the company, because even if it's for small companies with maybe 5 or 6 employees, they're still saving £1,000, £1,500 a year. And that's still a big saving to smaller companies. And then obviously larger companies, they need to look how they can save some money for the national insurance hikes.
What could the total savings be for a big company? I think I read somewhere that if you have 50 employees, it could be at least a £20,000 saving.
Definitely. We've done some where there's sort of 400 or 500 employees and they're saving thousands. I have a salary sacrifice calculator. So if anybody would like to know exactly how much they're saving, all they need to do, they can come through you or I'm more than happy for anyone to contact me directly. All I need is a list of annual salaries. I don't need any names, national insurance numbers, nothing like that. And I can calculate what the savings would be for them.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, I think that's even something that I'd take up personally for Abigail. How does it work alongside the current auto enrollment workplace pension rules?
So what you can do is, at the moment, because you're switching over to salary sacrifice, we have all the communication for companies to send out to their employees explaining salary sacrifice. And then if they wish to opt out, they just let their company know, and the company obviously informs whoever's running with the payroll, and they would just literally, it's a tick box in the payroll that that person is not on salary sacrifice. If a person is on a salary sacrifice scheme, it just means that when the contributions are uploaded onto the platform, the contributions are just showing as 8% employer contributions instead of 5% employee, 3% employer. So you can have, a company with 50 employees, half of them can be on salary sacrifice and half of them cannot be on salary sacrifice. It would just be one file coming through, one upload. It's not as if you have to have two schemes. It's just, all it means is that it's showing as an employer-owned contribution or an employee if they're not on salary sacrifice. So it's very, very simple and easy.
But they'd have to opt out of the auto enrollment.
If a company really wanted to have their employees opt in, they can choose it to opt in, or we can opt out. That's, it is very easy. You're finding at the moment that most companies are saying, we're switching over to Penfold pensions and we're going on to a salary sacrifice scheme. If you don't wish to be in a salary sacrifice scheme, please confirm by whatever date. And then they will just still be in the scheme, but they'd be on a normal relief at source.
Fantastic. So my next two questions were, how easy is it to administer through Penfold? And how would a company go about getting started? I think you've covered a few of these bits.
It's very easy. The service that we actually offer, at first, it's really nice for me to be able to go back to a company and say, yes, this is how much you can save. And then I would explain Penfolds in more detail to the company so they know more about our funds, send them information, answer any questions they've got on salary sacrifice. If they would like, I'm more than happy to set up online presentations to the employees explaining salary sacrifice. That way I can answer any questions from the employee. So I can just go through salary sacrifice, explaining, it's a government-backed scheme. It's been around for years. These are the benefits. We always explain the negatives as well so they understand both sides. They can ask me any questions and I can answer them. And then once they know, it's just a case of the employees confirming to the employer whether they want to opt out, and then just confirming to whoever runs the payroll. And we will even help whoever's running the payroll to change the scheme over in the payroll software to salary sacrifice.
What's the management charge on the pension?
Right. So management charge to the employees is a straight 0.75% AMC, which comes in with the government guidelines. Obviously, we work to government legislations for workplace pension. There's quite a lot of companies that have maybe set up fees, annually fees to the employer, monthly admin fees, but we are just no charges at all to the employer. Switching is free. Setting up is free, no monthly charges, just the 0.75%. And even with the employees, they have the members app. So our members app is just like an employee having their own bank account. They will have that, their Penfold app, but it's their pension. So they have instant valuations of their pensions. They can transfer old pots over into their pension with Penfold to keep everything under one roof, and that's all completely free of charge. To transfer a pension, it takes them literally 2 minutes to set it up on their app. It goes through our transfer team and they will work and arrange the transfer. And as I say, no cost for transfers in or no cost for transfers out.
A lot of our clients have used Nest historically. So if they had an employee that had a Nest pension pot, you're saying it's super simple and you'll do most of the work in the back.
Yeah, and what we actually do as well, we do offer members welcome presentations. So when a company sets up with us, we will offer to give the employees online presentations. And that's where we're offering sort of more of a pension education to people, because we find that millions of people now are saving into pensions since auto enrollment started. but they don't even understand where their money's going, what they're really investing in, how much they got. So we give them a just more understanding and pension awareness. So they understand what they're saving into, where their money's going, and then we give them a pension demonstration of their members app, and also complete like the beneficiary form and all the things that they just need to know to understand their pension more.
How does the fund performance compare to other solutions? Are employees allowed to choose or have the flexibility to choose different funds?
Yeah, they do. So with us, they're going to our default fund, which is the lifetime plan. On fund performance, we are one of the highest fund performers in the UK. But at the moment, just as a comparison, on a independent survey, which is taken over a 5-year period, our funds are performing around 8.6% gross. So we are one of the highest. And obviously, we're using BlackRock, as I say, one of the largest asset managers in the world.
Thanks a lot, Maria. I think that's everything from my side.
Lovely. Well, thank you very much. And if anyone's got any questions, then don't hesitate to contact me.